Well, my name is Evan Feinberg, and I'm running for Congress in the 18th District of Pennsylvania. And I'm running for Congress because the people of Western Pennsylvania deserve principled leadership. Unfortunately, their representative, Tim Murphy, who's been in for 5 terms now, has all too often compromised his principles for political expediency. He has decided that getting reelected and the next election are more important than the next generation and the jobs and the well-being of his constituents. And so because of that, I'm taking my principles of limited government, pro-growth policy, and I plan on taking those directly to the people of Western Pennsylvania and giving them an alternative, a consistent conservative voice for Western Pennsylvania. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in the South Hills. I went to Peters Township High School, and after I graduated, I went off to nearby Grove City College, Freedom's College as it's often known, where I studied political science. After receiving my degree, I went off to Washington, D.C., where I worked in some of the premier conservative offices and institutions in Washington, D.C. At the Heritage Foundation first, I was an education researcher and promoted research showing the benefits of the family to social well-being. After the Heritage Foundation, I went to work for Senator Tom Coburn from Oklahoma, where I was in the trenches fighting against Obamacare and other big government healthcare initiatives. After my time with Senator Coburn, I went to work for Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, where I was a staff director on a subcommittee on the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, promoting his principles in healthcare, education, and labor. After that, I chose to move my family back here to Western Pennsylvania to pursue a run for Congress so that I could bring those same limited government conservative principles to the people of the 18th District of Pennsylvania. You know, when my son was born, I held him in my arms in the hospital and I told him, "Luke, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you owe $47,000 on behalf of the federal government." If I had to name one motivation, why are you doing this? It's because the future of our country is extremely important to Luke. If Luke has to pay back $47,000 when he's too young to be able to work, he and our country are in big trouble. And unfortunately, it's not just going to be $47,000. We're set to add mountains of debt on top of that. Right now, we have a $15 trillion debt. We're set to add $7 trillion more over the next 10 years. 10 years from now, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and interest on our debt are going to consume every last dollar of our federal budget. That's bankruptcy. It's simply unsustainable. And you have to ask yourself, how did we get into this mess? We got into this mess because career politicians continue to put the next election before the next generation. Career politicians like Tim Murphy decided that they're going to put off solving our big problems because solving our big problems takes courage and conviction and sometimes doing things that are unpopular in the short term. So I'm running for Congress because I care about Luke. I care about Luke's future. And Luke's future depends on principled leadership. And if we don't put principled leaders in place in Washington, D.C., Luke will not enjoy the same prosperity that I and my father and my mother got to enjoy.